A Willow woman is in custody tonight, charged with 26 felony counts of animal cruelty after troopers say 25 dogs were found dead on a Mat-Su property. This case has sparked outrage and raised new questions about what happened in the months before investigators arrived. Johnson Kuhn has the latest.
Yeah, Tracy, troopers say they were called April 15th to help Mat-Su Borough Animal Control with an animal welfare investigation near Caswell Lakes between Willow and Talkeetna. What they say they found led to the arrest of Misty Reeder. But for some in the community, this story started months earlier.
We trusted the system, and the system failed us.
Alyssa Boozer says concerns about the dogs were raised as far back as January. But she says those warnings didn't lead to the kind of action that could have stopped this. She says calls to animal control went nowhere and left people feeling like they had no options.
He just kept brushing us off, me and everyone else.
This complaint alleges 26 counts. They're all the same. They're each cruelty to animals.
Reeder appeared virtually in Palmer Court Wednesday for her arraignment, where her bail was set at $25,000. And while charges were filed earlier this week by state troopers, the community conversation has only grown louder.
We are here this evening to demand justice for the 25 dogs who were starved and frozen to death on chains in Caswell Lakes.
Mat-Su Borough manager Mike Brown says he understands the frustration.
This one's unique for a number of different reasons. But no, I haven't seen this amount of public outcry, I guess, if you will, or just frustration.
But as internal and independent reviews continue, he's asking people to stay civil and let the investigations play out. In court on Wednesday, another detail stood out.
There appears to have been, at least in the allegations in the complaint, there was food at the house.
For many in the community, that may be the worst troubling detail of all, the idea that dog food was on the property while dogs were dying. Boozer says people drove by often, and based on what they could see, it looked like the dogs were being fed and were told animal control were making regular visits. She says learning otherwise has been hard to process.
It's sickening. It's sickening to hear that. I can't fathom it. I don't understand it.
And Reeder's next court date is set for May 4th. An additional eviction hearing scheduled for May 5th. Troopers have said one dog survived, and tonight, Boozer says a second dog named Birdie also survived, but details about that dog's condition and status are limited right now. And this story has disrupted peace of mind for many in the Willow community. Some people are showing up to the Mat-Su Borough Assembly meeting tonight to speak their mind, and that's where Joe Allgood is right now.
Yeah, Johnson, there's quite a few community members at the Willow Community Center for this meeting tonight, which is not far from where the 25 dead dogs were found. Animal Control took possession of the dogs last week. It was in the Caswell Lakes area, which is only about 30 minutes north of here. Many are referring to the dogs as the Caswell 25 because of that. And because we're so close and Willow is the home to many in the dog mushing community, there's more attendance than usual at a meeting like this. Borough officials are also here and will be sharing more with the community about how this has been handled and what's being done in light of the current investigation into the borough. And I just spoke to the borough manager not too long ago, and he said they have taken possession of the 27th dog, who is in good health, and he's on his way back to the animal shelter. The meeting's just starting, so we're going to stick around. We'll have more updates for you tonight on the late edition. Tracy?
And in Fairbanks, investigators are trying to find the family of a person who was found dead on the side of College Road. The body was found on April 14th after it was revealed by melting snow. Alaska State Troopers say the person has been identified as someone from out of state, but was not reported missing. Fairbanks police say cases like this are sometimes difficult because there may have been a disconnect from family, was maybe in hiding, or perhaps wasn't particularly close to anyone. Now to Juneau, where the Senate Finance Committee has tentatively reduced the Permanent Fund Dividend to $1,000 in their updated version of the operating budget. That amount is down from $1,500 that the House previously passed. $1,000 matches last year's dividend. According to the U.S. inflation calculator, it was the lowest in state history adjusted for inflation. Committee documents show the $1,000 dividend is about $674 million that would be paid by the state for that dividend. Here's what House Speaker Bryce Edgman had to say about the amount change.
Well, in a perfect world, we would be able to do a whole lot more with the PFD, But in order to pay for it, it's got to come from somewhere, right? Yeah. It's either massive costs that are going to come from other states' services or draining of money from the earnings reserve that will really inhibit the ability of the fund to grow in the future.
Senate Minority Leader Mike Cronk says he actually preferred the higher $1,500 amount. He's hoping more adjustments can be made. There are now 27 days left in the legislative session, which is set to end on May 20th. While some parts of Alaska have quieted down weather-wise, other areas are seeing a mixed bag of rain, wind, and snow. Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry joins me with that forecast. Melissa.
Yeah, a little bit of something for everyone here across the state, but really it's just a series of storms that continues to bring what is tropical moisture to the state. So we do have a lot of gray skies. Temperatures, though, relatively mild. 46 in Anchorage, up to 48 in Fairbanks with some blue sky peeking through. Low 50s now in Palmer and Juneau at 49. You can see that sun reflecting there over the water. Gorgeous conditions there tonight. But many Alaskans dealing with high winds over the past 24 hours. Those winds still strong all the way down the west coast across the Bering Sea. Shimmy at 64 miles per hour today. But even into Anchorage and Palmer, wind gusts at about 45 miles per hour. And the Anchorage hillside seeing wind gusts to 65 miles per hour earlier today. Now, this area of low pressure still having a big impact on the state, even though those highest winds and the heavy snow have tapered off for the western side of the state. We're now seeing those wet conditions moving into the coastal areas of south central, and we're going to see those high winds moving into the Alaska range. That's where we could see gusts to 75 miles per hour in the eastern Alaska range heading into tomorrow. Also, a flood watch still in effect for the Susitna Valley, specifically the western Susitna Valley is where we'll see potentially some of those bigger impacts. It's some heavy rain on the way, and that rain just doesn't really have anywhere to go with everything still frozen and a lot of snow melt happening at the same time. So do watch out for high water there throughout the Susitna Valley. And tomorrow we'll see highs in the mid-40s. Heavier rain pushes into Anchorage tomorrow night. Dry in Fairbanks and Juneau, mostly sunny. Bethel seeing that snow rain mix with highs in the upper 30s. And I'll have a look ahead to your weekend and next week here in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Melissa. New tonight, Washington lawmakers and port commissioners from Seattle and Tacoma will be visiting Alaska ports soon. From April 27th to May 1st, they're expected to share best practices, boost supply chain efficiencies, and foster legislative and economic ties between the two states. The delegation will meet with state legislators in Juneau and visit the Anchorage, Whittier, Seward, and McKenzie ports. This comes after the U.S. Department of Transportation announced 7 Alaska port projects would be boosted by federal port grants. Well, from new breeds to newborns on the farm, the reindeer farm in the Butte area is sharing many firsts this year. Georgina Fernandez brings us to the farm today to share them with us.
Haven't learned their social cues yet.
It's a season of firsts.
But they're just so cute and curious.
For these new faces.
Is that a baby? Yeah, that's the baby talking. He's like, Mom, where you go?
Hi. As baby season continues with all of these curious new additions on the farm.
That's not your mom. Run away.
43 new baby reindeers in the mix.
The oldest one is really coming up to people now.
Experiencing things for the first time, and they're not alone.
A lot of times the first-time moms don't know what they're doing, and so then we'll step in and help take care of the babies.
Staff like farm manager Lauren Waite stepping up to help.
We love this time of year, but we don't sleep a lot.
On the newborn schedule.
Life's been crazy and chaotic and busy.
Dedicating her time caring for the newest additions, including bottle feeding 2 newborn reindeers right now, Wren and Rooster, who are keeping them busy.
And just like a newborn baby, they're having to feed these guys around the clock. So they're feeding them right now about every 2 hours.
And I love bottle feeding them because then even as adults, they're really friendly, like puppy dog friendly. They'll follow us all around. They'll chew on our clothes.
And just like their animals,
it's been really fun having so many first experiences.
Waite is also sharing firsts beside them. From raising emus to adopting this year an umbrella cockatoo, precious new additions to the farm.
They're just the most gentlest creatures.
I guess he would agree, because when baby season hits, firsts are just part of the deal. Georgina Fernandez, Alaska's news source.
Oh, so cute. Now, one of the baby reindeer that the farm also cared for this year is Lumi, the white baby reindeer, and that was born this month. The reindeer farm says, though, that white reindeer are rare in Alaska and tend to be less healthy and strong as the brown reindeer. The farm says Lumi became sick and passed away earlier this week. So adorable. They say they are sad, but will always remember how special he was and excited they were for his birth.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.